Warning, this video contains major spoilers for Star vs. the Force of Evil. If you haven't seen the series and don't want to be spoiled, then stop watching. If you've seen the show and or don't care if you get spoiled, well, keep watching then. Alrighty then. Do well in my classes? Check. Do well on finals? Check. Lose a new friend because you misinterpreted something they said, and now they never want you anywhere near them again. Check. Review Star versus the Forces of Evil. For those of you who know me, you'd know that I'm a pretty big fan of Disney's current cartoons, such as Gravity Falls and Wander Over Yonder, for instance. And this is no exception.
Ernie!
Jesus Christ, Jacob, I'm in the middle of a review!
Oh, sorry about that. What you reviewing?
Star vs. the Forces of Evil.
Hang on, didn't you say we were gonna do that together?
I did. But I thought you were reviewing Star with Mike.
Mike's dead, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, he's only died like 3 times!
True. Very true. But when did I say I'd do a co-op with you on Star?
Well, we'll have to use the Wayback Machine to answer that question.
So Jacob, not gonna do that review of Star with Mike being gone?
Maybe, but didn't you say you were gonna review Star?
Yeah, why?
Think you want to turn that into a co-op?
I don't see why not.
Yeah!
Alright then. But first...
No, I'm not showing my face.
Actually, I was thinking we'd use avatars this time. Star and Marco, perhaps?
But then we'd look like fanboys. You said it yourself in your last commentary.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, I've got some ideas for some replacement avatars. Let's give it a go.
It could work, but no. 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 Oh god, no! Wait! I've got a better idea!
Really? What is it? Uh-huh. Yeah? Wait, already? Ugh, fine.
Introducing Abada. This is Abada.
There you go. Happy?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Say, Jacob, how's Lightish gonna take this?
Ah, shit.
Jacob? Who the frick is this?
It's just Ernie, Adrian. Calm down.
Jacob? Why is she staring at me like that?
Adrian, everything's fine here.
Okie dokie then.
Well then, back to where we were. Star vs. the Force of Evil is one of the latest Disney successes to finish up its first season with quite the following behind it, with Season 2 coming out on February 12th, coincidentally the same day as when the Deadpool movie comes out.
So with that bit of information out of the way, let's look at our character lineup. While there are many characters that pop up in the show, we're going to be focusing on the main character that's going over everyone would take all day. Star Butterfly is the series' main protagonist and title character who many people have described as being like Mabel from Gravity Falls. While Star is cheerful, good-spirited, and adorable like Mabel, she still has her own unique traits. In more recent years, Disney has been trying its new spins on typical Disney princesses in order to make them more unique and more able to stand for themselves. Without the titular Prince Charming, and Star is no exception to this. She comes from the kingdom of Muni, where on her 14th birthday, she receives the butterfly family heirloom, a magic wand. Unfortunately, she proved quickly that she wasn't good with magic. To remedy this, her parents, the king and queen of Muni, send Star to Earth in order to become more mature and responsible with her magic, since Earth has no magic. Hey, was this or looking to be St. Olga's Reform School for Wayward Princesses? She is first sent to Echo Creek Academy and befriends a student there named Marco, who she would live with for the rest of the series. She does various things with Marco, such as kicking monster butt, crossing various dimensions, fixing broken limbs unsuccessfully, understanding how sporting events work, dancing underneath the blood moon, and helping Marco grow a beard. That said, it's not all fun and games as she has to protect her wand and everyone else around her from Ludo, the series' main antagonist, and his minions, because if her wand gets in the wrong hands, all hell will break loose. We even see Star's other emotions throughout the series, such as telling Marco that she just wants a friend and not a hero, and conquering her fear of St. Olga's in order to break out Ponyhead, Star's best friend on Muni, who is literally a floating fucking unicorn head. We even get to see Star's form of puberty, dubbed Muberty. Let's just say it's kinda like puberty as it does things to Star's hormones since she goes after various boys in the episode. But we even see Star turn into a mutant purple butterfly thing that shoots purple symbiote. But perhaps the best example of all this comes from the Season 1 finale, Storm the Castle. If you don't want to be spoiled, feel free to skip to the designated time shown on the screen. Anyways, Marco gets kidnapped by Ludo's partner Toffee, who even went as far as to attempt to kill Marco if Star didn't destroy her wand. It is a powerful scene as you see the emotion in Star's face as she has to choose between saving her family's heirloom or her new friend with the clock running. She ultimately chooses to destroy the wand, which also explodes as a result of the whispering spell Star used in order to destroy it. Star and Marco then hug it out as it shows how much Star cares for him. Yeah, they've hugged other times in the series, but this one was more powerful as Marco could have died. As for the wand, she does get a new one, though it's missing a piece, which will be resolved in Season 2.
Damn, son, that was quite the bio. The series' other main protagonist is Marco Diaz.
Marco's a boy.
Yeah, Starco for life! In all seriousness, Marco is the kind of character that's always been dubbed as the safe kid, though he'd rather do something extreme and dangerous, but has rather kept things on the safe side. It's stuff like this that I appreciate, as it makes Marco more human since many of us are, were, or know someone with the same mentality. Hell, I'm not afraid to admit that I too am this kind of person, as taking risks and breaking from my norm can be terrifying, but I still want to do it because why the fuck not? For those of you who haven't seen the show, you also might be thinking from the Star bio that Star gets busy kicking monster ass while Marco does nothing and is this series unstoppable, in which case, you would be wrong. So wrong. In fact, Marco takes karate,
I'm a green belt with a stripe.
and has been shown to hold his own in monster fights multiple times. Though Star always delivers the final blow because, well, she's got more power on tap than Marco does. Karate is a big part of Marco's life as we see him practice various moves in the series and compete against his arch-rival, Jeremy. That said, Marco is a fun person to be around as Star has experienced throughout the entire series and has been known to make some killer nachos. He does, however, teach Star about various Earth customs as things, of course, differ from Earth compared to Muni, like sporting events as stated earlier, or not taking fortune cookies literally. Hell, in most cases, Star teaches Marco about certain customs of Muni, such as Muberty, as well as dimensions they visit, such as going to Questby, the Plains of Time, and much more. It's a different take on the fish out of water formula, where the series' straight man learns more about the outsider and what they do, where they come from, rather than vice versa. Marco does of course care a lot for Star, as he's by her side 99% of the time, and always wants Star to be safe and happy. There was even an episode dedicated to this trait. However, I think it's time to address the elephant in the room. The shipping of Star and Marco, otherwise known as Starco. Why? It's a topic typically discussed in the fandom, and I have a feeling that if I don't bring it up in the video, I might get plenty of comments asking me about it. I support it, and here's why. Both characters play off each other with fantastic chemistry and have demonstrated that both care immensely for each other. Now, there have been supposedly leaked images of Star and Marco making flirt faces at each other and then kissing. My guess is that it's either fake, or some that the crew is saving for later, like Kim and Ron kissing from Kim Possible, for instance.
However, the show is called Star vs. the Forces of Evil, so naturally there are villains that show up throughout the series. The main antagonist is this bird guy named Ludo, whose minions look like they're straight out of He-Man. So what's his motivation behind wanting to capture Star's wand? Total domination. That's it. Yeah, real deep. That said, it is kind of refreshing to have villains as simple as this when we live in a world where villains have some sort of deeper motivation behind their actions, so it's not to go back to the simpler times. That said, Ludo and his goons don't have much success as Star manages to be one step ahead of them. Ludo, of course, gets fed up with this and recruits a mysterious individual named Toffee. Not much is known about Toffee except that he's supposedly a genius, is a lizard, and wears suits. He helps Ludo for a while, though there are some indications that things are not what they seem between Ludo and Toffee, until Toffee eventually kicks Ludo and Bullfrog, one of Ludo's henchmen. Spoilers! Toffee is the one who gets the idea to kidnap Marco and make Star destroy her wand. Star even offers him the wand, but he refuses and wanted it destroyed, which makes sense. If one of the greatest powers is destroyed, then no one can have it. We do see that he can even regrow limbs like he's the lizard from the Amazing Spider-Man, after Star cuts off one of his arms, and that he supposedly gets killed from the blast emitted from Star's wand after getting destroyed. Did he die in the blast? Well, we'll have to wait for Season 2 to figure that out. We've also seen Star's demonic ex-boyfriend, Tom. For a while, we saw small glimpses of him trying to get back into a relationship with Star, but Star always turned him down. Understandable, who in their right mind would date a demon? We do see more of him in Blood Moon Ball, where he invites Star to, well, the Blood Moon Ball, which takes place every 667 years. He even gives her a little bell that, when rung, will take her to the ball. When there, we're treated to demonic hell monsters roaming around in what's supposedly hell. And we even see them get drenched in Ding and Nappa blood. Apparently, the Blood Moon is the moon of lovers, and naturally, Tom's using this as a way to be with Star forever. Marco crashes the party by using the bell to get to the ball and steals Tom's dance, which pisses Tom off. Hopefully, we'll get to see more of him in Season 2 due to the storytelling possibilities that he has. Another major antagonist that hasn't had much screen time is Miss Heinous from St. Olga's. We see more of her in St. Olga's Reformed School Flavor Princesses as well as clubs on her cheeks.
Wait a minute. Star has hearts, her mom has diamonds, Heinous has clubs. All three are symbols you can find on playing cards. It can only mean one thing. They're all members of Jax! What? Expecting an Illuminati joke? Well, fuck y'all and your Bill ciphers. But in all seriousness, it would appear that since all three mentioned have playing card symbols, it must mean that Heinous is most likely related to Star and Queen Butterfly. However, it brings up a question. Where's the spades one? I mean, cards do have 4 symbols, right? We've got hearts, diamonds, and clubs. So where's spades?
I'd say wait until Season 2.
Damn it. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's move on to the character designs. The best way to describe the art style for this show is round. There's hardly any straight angles, and while the roundness could come off as childish, it lends itself to creating Disney's current familiar atmosphere like Gravity Falls and Wander Over Yonder before it. It also helps in another way, making things cute. Star is freaking adorable. How could you possibly hate a face like this? On the topic of Star, some unique features to her are that even when her hair gets in her eyes, she can still see through it. No other character on the show can claim that, for some reason. Another unique part of Star is that she has multiple outfits and that she never wears the same outfit twice in a row. Whether it be an episode that takes place over the course of multiple days, the partnering episode, or just episode to episode in general, she never wears any of her 3 outfits twice in a row. As for the outfits themselves, they are cute and share the same structure of a dress, boots, and leggings? Stockings? I'm actually not too sure what those are. If I was forced to pick a favorite, I'd be torn between her primary and secondary outfits. Now with the design of her wand, I was at first kind of torn on the design since it looked too much like a rattle to me, though I've warmed up to it. I do dig the wings on the sides of the wand as well as the star in the center. Fitting for a character named Star, I suppose. Now as for spoilers for Upgraded Wand, my opinion is still pretty much the same since it's just a more dynamic looking version compared to the first one. Though I'm curious as to how they'll find the other half of the star. As for Marco, I guess girls could find him adorable?
I find him adorable, especially in a dress.
Thanks, Lightish! Though unlike Star, you always see Marco wearing black skinny jeans and a red hoodie on a daily basis, with the exception of karate, being a psychologist, or going to a dance in disguise. But don't worry, the show does explain why Marco always wears the exact same thing. Insightful, isn't it?
The villains also get the rowdy treatment. However, it's done more so to look crude, mean, and ugly as opposed to looking cute. There are villains in the show that are done up similar to our protagonists such as Tom and Miss Hannah. They are round in their designs, but they're neither cute or hideous looking. I guess they're neutral looking. However, when both need to be intimidating, they sure are pretty damn intimidating.
And now we've saved the best for last.
Ernie, don't be a cringy fuck.
Yeah, don't be a cringy frick. Here's the story. On her 14th birthday, King and Queen Butterfly Immunity give their loving daughter, Star, the family heirloom, a wand, and allow her to practice magic. After showing that she kind of sucks at magic, Star is in fear of being sent to a dreaded place known as St. Olga's Reform School for Wayward Princesses. But her parents have other plans. They decide to send her to the Earth Dimension where she meets and befriends Marco Diaz, and the adventure begins. Much like Steven Universe, the show has a mix of standalone episodes and continuing storylines. Standalone episodes typically revolve around solving a problem of sorts, whether it be the weird and wild interdimensional stuff, Star and Marco bonding with each other, or Star just trying to understand various Earth customs. For the most part, they are executed pretty well. The only one that Jacob and I mutually agree on being crappy, however, is the Benagic incident, since Star acts incredibly dumb for some reason, which feels very out of character. Basically, Star sees a commercial for something called the Benagic Wand, and wants to get it because she thinks it's actually magical, whilst Marco gets prepared to walk across hot coals at his karate class that day. Yeah, she doesn't know everything about Earth, but this episode came late in Season 1. Surely she's grown accustomed to it by then, especially when this episode comes after an episode where she learns not to take fortune cookies literally. Kind of counterproductive, don't you think? That and the Marco subplot in the episode goes nowhere and does nothing but give an excuse to not have Marco be with Star when the climax occurs. I mean, one could argue that the episodes are in random order. However, it doesn't make sense from an audience's perspective, as the audience would perceive episodes to follow continuity. But even if you choose to ignore that, there's still the problem that Star acts annoyingly stupid in the episode, and that the Marco subplot is mere filler.
Now, as for the episodes with continuing storylines, they revolve more around the villains and the secondary characters than they do with the main stars.
I swear if that was a pun.
It wasn't. Shut your dong. Back to the main subject. There's a story arc with Star's other best friend, Ponyhead, where she gets sent to St. Olga's and party with a pony at the very beginning of the show, only to eventually get saved by Star and Marco from St. Olga's and St. Olga's Reform School for Wayward Princesses. This episode is also where we are introduced to Miss Hannah's story arc, as we see part of her supposedly true self like stated earlier, and figures out that a bobby pin that Marco dropped came from Earth, where she vows to go after Star and Marco. We'll most likely see this arc to be completed next season, if we were to guess. Lastly, and of course, there's a mini-story arc with Toffee after Ludo hires him in fortune cookies. We get glimpses that Toffee seems like he's got something up his sleeve to the point where he overthrows Ludo and Marco grows a beard. But as for his supposed end in Storm the Castle, it may or may not be possible that he survives, since we saw he could regrow missing limbs. But if he's truly dead, then he's dead. End of story. It really knows how to balance things up in the fun, one-off type, and deals with the multi-episode story arcs in a consistent and linear fashion. So Ernie, how do you typically end these things?
With final thoughts, like in commentaries. What'd you think happened?
An orgy with Hagakure.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Lots of things.
So overall, do we recommend it? Fuck yeah, we do! Star vs. the Force of Evil has great characters, interesting story arcs, good standalone episodes, and is just fun to watch altogether.
Frankly, if you're one of those people who ignored the disclaimer at the beginning and haven't seen it yet, go! Watch it now, fool! Go with the Man or Kids cartoon, whatever's more accessible. Just freaking
Jacob? Jacob! You alright? Shit, he's dead. Anyways, happy 2016, everybody, and hopefully this year goes great for everyone.
Ernie, I'm not dead.
Oh my god, zombie! Now you're never coming back from the dead, you hear me? Wait a minute. Uh-oh.
Hey, Ernie, where's Jacob?
He's, well...
You know he's not actually dead, right?
How?
Because Asahina was alive at the end of Danganronpa, unlike Yamada.
Frick.
Well, check his pulse.
Yup, he's dead. No doubt about it.
So, wanna get Cece's pizza?
Yeah!
Well, looks like we got some work in our hands. Ready, George?
Ready when you are, MTR.